Hi, welcome to Dyspraxia Dialogues. Today we have Ryan from London, is that right? Yep.
Yeah,
And we're just going to ask Ryan a few questions about his experience of dyspraxia. So, firstly, Ryan, could you tell me a little bit about your experience of being diagnosed?
okay. Before I have to try to get back to before when I actually got diagnosed. I actually when I was I guess my early 8 to 10 years, while I was still in daycare. I guess daycare too as well. Maybe that time back then in school when I was still with kids, a little bit younger than this. I actually started feeling having that experience sometimes. I would just actually be on my own sometimes because I'm someone that really likes cycling. I love cycling. I love playing football. Yes, soccer. I love soccer a lot. So back then, I guess when I was my early, it was between my early 8 and 12. Sometimes I would just be on my own. Maybe if I'm actually paddling or cycling, I'll just after the experience, I'll just something would just like it would just be like kind of an attack, a sudden seizure. Like my body would just become stiff, so I sometimes I do fall from the bike while I'm paddling, or sometimes if I'm having playing soccer with some friends, my sometimes some parts of my body like my joints, it will just cease for some times. But I never actually knew what actually happened. I keep on telling my parents this, and they were like, "There's nothing wrong with me." So at my early 20s, it doesn't really actually comes often, yeah, then, but when I in my early 20s, that's when I got diagnosed because it was becoming more open when I got to my early 20s.
There was
So
more
that's
awareness, do you mean? There was more knowledge about dyspraxia?
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
it sounds like you had a lot of struggles with physical activities, cycling and pedaling when you were a child. Parents didn't
yeah.
really understand, and they said nothing was wrong, but you just knew that there was something different.
Yes, I keep telling them that finally when I was in my early 20s, at my 21, I guess that's when I got diagnosed, and I everything was well explained to me and to my parents, and I it's at the first it was a mixed feeling. Sometimes since I didn't actually know what it was all about, it was a mixed feeling. Sometimes I'll feel good, sometimes I'll just feel left out. But I guess my when I got diagnosed, I started having it became more serious, and it became so frustrating at times. Even like as I'm talking to you now, I have been, sometimes I just feel frustrated because I can't do those physical things I normally do before.
Yeah, so even talking about it now is a bit frustrating and upsetting thinking about those things.
And very, very upsetting sometimes. It's annoying. It's
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah, frustration, that was a big part of my experience as well. I struggled with a lot of physical things as a child in sports and PE and yeah, cycling was not easy for me to learn either and I didn't really understand why I was finding it so difficult compared with other children and yeah, the frustration was really real. So thank you for explaining about your story. I wonder, could you tell me, have you had any help or assistance with your dyspraxia since your diagnosis?
Yeah, definitely. I've actually been to, I've used a private assessment service in my neighborhood here. So I actually used London Autism Service. It's private. Yes,
And
it's a
they're
private.
mainly for autism, but they do dyspraxia as well, is that right?
Yeah, yeah. There's this other one I actually used few months ago. That was 6 months ago. Ali Mind Care Service. Yeah,
Mm.
they also attend to people with concerning this, and sometimes I guess I also had the chance to meet an occupational therapist, which my
Okay.
parents provided for me. So and yes, I've been meeting him. I guess 2 months ago, he came around. Sometimes he do come around, and sometimes when I'm fit enough, I'll just go over to for a little therapy section.
Oh wow. And do the things that the occupational therapists, do the suggestions help you? Are they strategies or?
Yes, yes, definitely. A lot of encouragement and a lot of it tells me what to do, some other physical things I could do to just wear this off my mind. Yeah,
Mm. But have you had to find this help privately mainly, the help that you've had?
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's my impression. There isn't much help available sort of through the NHS, but people have to generally go privately for things like that as if they're adults. I think maybe there might be more help for children, but yeah, in my experience, I didn't really see any sort of availability on the NHS. I went to Dyspraxia UK, which was a private occupational therapy organization. That's where I got my diagnosis, and they were really helpful. They did a massive report with a lot of helpful suggestions for how I can improve my day-to-day life and how my employer could help me. But yeah, it's frustrating to me that there's still not enough provision through the NHS for this because it's such a common condition. So many people have it and don't even have the diagnosis. So yeah, that's why we're here trying to raise awareness, really. So, could you tell me, Ryan, what are the main struggles or ways in which your dyspraxia affects you in your everyday life now?
In my everyday life, like I said earlier, I'm someone that kind of gets myself involved with a lot of physical activity. Like
Hmm.
my father is someone that loves sports. He's a footballer. So
Oh,
I
wow.
actually, yeah, that's what actually got me to, sometimes that time I was a little bit younger. It would take me along whenever he's going for maybe a match or maybe he's going for training. So I actually got an interest. I started developing these feelings for soccer, and I actually joined a smaller team that he actually registered me. Yes, and he's someone too that also love going to the gym. So him taking me around, maybe sometimes to the gym, maybe sometimes when he's going for training, I was really engaged, and all those things, the things he do, I started loving them. So at times, as time goes on, I love doing these things while I was maybe when I was 12 to 15. But when I started having these symptoms, this I guess I couldn't do those things anymore. Like when I was finally diagnosed, and it becomes so frustrating, and it becomes severe now. It becomes severe now. I guess it's more intense now than before. So I do have a lot of challenges in my daily life because I'll feel like doing these things, and I can't longer do them. These things are things that make me feel very, very comfortable with my life. That
Mm.
really makes me go around, that makes me feel free even but because of this, I guess sometimes I'll pay and I become frustrated. And when I become frustrated, I fall into depression most times. Yeah, I fall into depression, and when I fall into depression about it, I don't really feel okay. Like currently, I feel so isolated. I don't really have much friends around because sometimes if I want to step out, I cannot be scared. What if something bad happened to me, or along the way I don't have anybody who can assist me, who can support me. So this has actually affected me in a lot of my physical activities, which actually were those things. Those are the things that make me feel good in life, that makes me feel
Mm.
okay, really human. Yeah. So it has actually affected me because I can longer associate myself with other kids who play soccer like my team when my dad registered me while I was still young. I can longer mingle with them again. I don't play with them again. And even at the gym, I don't longer go around going to the gym again to maybe just to be physically fit. That was the main aim of going to the gym, just to be physically fit and maybe hang around, get to know new people. But because
Yes.
of the things I was diagnosed, and it's become so frustrating now, it has become so intense that I experience the same terms. I experience it every day of my life. Also, because of this, I don't feel comfortable staying around people because I don't actually know what people might actually think about me. I
Oh,
feel
so
more.
Yeah, the difficulties with the physical struggles has a big impact on your emotional life, your mental health, and
Yes,
also your
physical.
social life. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a really big impact, isn't it? Affecting every area of your life, and people might not realize that, if people struggle to do those physical activities that they might want to do, it can isolate people, and you found that you've ended up lonely or not able to connect enough
Yeah,
with people socially and suffering from depression as well. So
yeah.
you can see the impact on a person's life that is, yeah, just caused by this whole struggle with physical aspects of dyspraxia. I want to know also, Ryan, how about other ways in which it affects you? Does it affect you in terms of organization or planning and things like that?
A lot, because sometimes I have difficulties when I'm sometimes I maybe in a family we have a family group. Since because of this I've stayed isolated. I don't really hang around friends. Maybe sometimes I might want to type with my phone. It does affect me sometimes. My fingers will just become stiff. Sometimes my phone falls off from my hands. And sometimes in when I want to carry out some routine in the house, maybe you want to wash some dirty dishes, or maybe just rearrange or arrange the room, or sometimes make my try to tidy up my environment, the surrounding, just to make it nice. Sometimes I'll just experience all this stiffness, and it's actually it has really had a lot of impact on me. It has affected me negatively. So
Yes.
it's yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way about organizing my space. I find it very difficult to keep my environment organized because, as well, like you, I get really tired and the muscles can kind of tense up like that when you are exhausted anyway. And the whole thing. I think with spatial awareness as well, I struggle with tidying because I struggle to keep an eye on where everything is and to organize things and where they should go. I don't know if you have anything like that as well.
That's what I'm saying. Definitely, yes, a lot.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not just like the physical tiredness and stiffness as you describe it, but also just kind of the organization in general. Yeah. Um, I wonder if you could tell me, do you feel that you have any strengths or positive qualities as a result of dyspraxia?
Yes, I would say yes. Mine is about I would mention persistence, and I also mention resilience, because since I had this experience, I kind of maybe I really do understand what happens in my life every time. So I sometimes when I wake up, I feel more optimistic. I've never given up even for once. I keep pushing. I just keep believing that, yeah, sometimes I'll just think, okay, this is not just it. This is not happening to me. I'll feel more optimistic. Okay, let me just keep going. Let me just keep going no matter whatever happens. Like sometimes when it comes to organizing things in the environment or in my house, I know it might happen, but I don't even want to think about it. I just keep going. I just keep going. I want to do it repeatedly, no matter how many times I have this. My muscles sometimes get stiff. I do feel pains at that moment sometimes. It's because since I'm staying alone, I don't really have people around, people that support me. So sometimes when I experience that, sometimes I might just be in the kitchen and I'll just fall off. And
Mhm.
instead of me, maybe if I go into a condition like that, instead of me to rest, once I get myself again, I will still want to repeat what I'm doing. I will still want to push, because I don't have anybody who's assisting me here. So I guess I really have more. I will talk about that resilience a lot. Yes.
Yeah, the resilience and that determination that keeps you pushing on and you don't give up. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and I'll mention emotional awareness. I'll mention emotional awareness, because I know what it feels. I know what it feels. Not everybody that actually understands it. So sometimes when I see people going through a lot, and maybe some people try to maybe I've never actually experienced maybe bullying, you know. I've not actually experienced bullying, but sometimes when I see people who are experiencing what I'm also going I'm experiencing, I sometimes have that emotional awareness. Okay, I maybe if I see someone now, I might try to encourage them. I do feel what they feel at times.
So
Yes.
your empathy is quite strong, your emotional awareness of other people. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. One final question, Ryan. If you could say one thing to the whole world to tell them what you want them to know about dyspraxia, what would it be?
Okay, well, one of the biggest misconceptions these people are having right now is that most people think is it's just about clumsiness, that it's more than I would not really tell people about the negative impact of it. I would not really talk about the negative impact of it. Rather, I would want to encourage them. Those I would love to maybe talk people in how to be patient. I want to tell them how to maybe a lot of people I would love to tell people to have more understanding about how this works, how people feel. Try to encourage people on it and how people can associate with maybe people that are actually experiencing this. Yes,
So you would encourage people to listen to people who have the condition and actually find out what it's really like? Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yes.
really important point. So, yeah, thank you for sharing with me today, Ryan. It's great to meet you. You're welcome to join us on we have Zoom support groups for adults with dyspraxia. So, if you're ever interested, you can email me and join in. And that goes for everyone watching as well. If anyone's out there feeling like they want some support, we're here. And also, anyone watching, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe and you can see more videos from people with dyspraxia.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Bye. Okay.